That's horrible.
That's true.
So strange.
Usually.
I can't imagine what that's like.
Do you want to?
That could never happen to me.
It might.
Lock him away. He's pure evil. Or insane.
Or human. My name's Kate. I have worked as a forensic psychologist as well as in prisons and as a crisis clinician. My job was to figure out who gets locked up and who gets a key. To find the humanity in inhumane situations. So, are you sure you really want to know?
Yeah? Maybe.
Because by the end of the episodes, you just might end up thinking...
I felt better before I knew that.
You can find me at IWB Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, sometimes Instagram, or you can email me at iwbpodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you for letting us in.
I was burying bodies out in the desert.
Neighbors claimed they practice witchcraft.
Quiet. Everything will be fine.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Haunted Heart Podcast, where for the next 60 to 70 minutes, I will try to hit my fucking mic as many times as I fucking possibly can.
I just blame it on your breasts. I feel like they just are in the way and they just hit them constantly.
They independently just fucking reach out and smack the mic.
Yeah.
No, it's my wild gesticulating. Is that the right word?
What
Gesturing?
does that mean? What is gesticulating?
I could be wrong. It seems really close to gesturing, so it seems kind of like useless to have a word that sounds so similar to gesturing that is not. But I'm pretty sure it means like big, huge hand motions, because I get really excited when I'm telling my story, and then I just smack the fuck out of the mic and out of my pop filter and all my shit.
What's funny though is that you always look at me when I do that, because I do the same, and you always give me that look
know,
like,
right? I get
Kenny,
no.
Kenny, what are you doing?
I fucking internalize that for myself too, though. Like every time I hit the mic when we're recording, I'm just like, God damn it. Like,
Let me tell you what, you never really notice it until you go to edit.
for real. You're like, nah. No, I sort of know now. Like every now and then I'll go to make a move and I'll hit my mic and I'll be like, God damn it. Wednesday fucking morning, I'm going to hear that and I'm going to want to die. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, I haven't managed to do it yet this episode, but I'm sure it'll be there. Just let me know. So, anyway.
We have a very special episode.
We do.
This evening.
We do, but before we get into that.
I'm just so excited.
We have to get into that good Podlight.
Podlight!
So, at the top of the episode, you should have heard, from our friend Kate at the Ignorance Was Bliss podcast. Mm-hmm. I personally, so this is a little, I know we usually do podlights for shows that are in the like true crime sort of genre or like the paranormal or like that sort of thing. And I know that you guys are all about that. But this, I really encourage you to check this podcast out. I personally love it. She deals more with mental health issues. And everything that kind of goes with that. So everything that's kind of like mental health adjacent. And I really like her perspective on things. She's not like an issue that I have with like stuff that's in that realm is that sometimes people can be a little like, I don't know. I feel like they gloss over some of the ugly parts, you know?
Right.
Or they just like fixate on the ugly parts and that's all, you know? But I feel like she does a really good job of just being a fucking straight shooter. And it's kind of, we agree on a lot of things. Like she has this really interesting and compelling episode about Alcoholics Anonymous. And this is no shade to anybody who has strong feelings for Alcoholics Anonymous. But she has some kind of controversial views on it. And that it may not necessarily be the best way because it, you know, I'll let you listen to the episode, but I really encourage you to check her out. She drops episodes whenever the fuck she wants to because she's Kate and she does what she wants.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, right? But sometimes I feel like I would love it if we could do that, but then we would never fucking drop any episodes.
Honey, we've got to stay on a schedule. We have to stay on a schedule. We need schedules. We need deadlines.
We would fucking literally just sit in our underwear and watch Glamzilla or whatever that show is called that you just showed to me. What is it called?
Glam Masters.
Glam Masters. It's a good
Glam
fucking show.
Masters. Yeah, it's
show.
pretty cool show about people who do makeup and they go through. It's like Project Runway, but for makeup.
Okay, they're not paying us, so that's it.
What?
For them.
I'm just suggesting it. These are our friends and our people, and they want to know what we're watching. So
we are not sponsored by Glam Masters, but Glam Masters, if you want it,
leave a.
Honey.
What do you say? What do you say, Katie? Leave the coin on the dresser.
Oh, I thought you were asking me what do I say that we'll have it hot and ready for you like Little Caesars, girl.
Well, that too.
Yeah. So anyway.
But that segues into...
Ignorance was bliss. Go listen to it. Kate is lovely and she's fabulous and her podcast is doing really important things.
And
on with this bullshit. We're not.
Right.
The other thing that you should check out.
What I've been trying to segue into awkwardly for the past
I don't get the segue,
seconds.
but is it Little Shop
We were
of
talking
Horrors
about
time?
Glam Masters.
Oh, motherfucker. I stomped
You're
all
such
over
a
that
dumbass.
segue. Shit, I'm so stupid. No, our Little Shop of Horror today is Rebel Rouge Labs. Yay!
I don't get the segue.
Yeah, I don't. We're fucking plugging in makeup shop today, and I didn't get it. It's fine. You know, it's been a long week, and it's only the beginning.
Oh, yes.
So, Rebel Rouge Labs is phenomenal. We sort of recently, like in the past couple months, have stumbled across their page, and they're phenom. They are getting ready to drop a shitload. It's obviously independently owned, female owned, by the way.
Very important.
Absolutely. And they're getting ready to drop a shitload of new product, and it looks fucking amazing. I have never been like a hardcore makeup girl, but I'm trying to get into it because I feel like I should be an adult and know how to at least make myself look moderately attractive sometimes. She says, sitting across from Kenny with not a stitch of makeup on her fucking face.
It's okay. You did a lash that one time, and you've
I've
got a
done
nail
lash
on
multiple times. Yes, I do
you've got a
manage
nail
to fucking
on.
keep a nail on at all times now.
Progress, small steps.
Anywho, they're going to drop a shitload of new product in September. And one of the things I'm most excited about is the Gamma Ray palette. It is this fucking amazing looking rainbow palette, and the pigment that is in these colors is fucking incredible. I hope that all of you, the palette looks amazing. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to wear it. I have no fucking skill, so I hope that you guys are prepared for me to look like a clown, because I'm straight up about to put every single one of these colors on my face because it looks incredible, and I just want to live my rainbow bright lifestyle and be free.
Yeah, and what's really cool about them is that, yes, they're independently owned, but they have such, like it's rare that you see brands like this have things like setting sprays and stuff. So
she literally thinks of everything.
Right.
And the setting spray is really, really good, and it smells super good. The other thing is she's about to launch this really cool highlighter?
Yeah, a highlighter?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm struggling. She's about to launch this launch. She's about to launch.
Launch.
She's
One of
about
these days,
to
many years
launch.
into the future, we're just going to have a Haunted Heart dictionary of
A
just fucking
lounge.
fucked up words that we've
Girl, you want me to
messed
meet
up.
you for lunch today? No.
meat for lounge.
No, there is liquid highlighter that looks amazing and super bright and unicorn gorgeous. And then there's also this really cool fusion blush that looks like the fucking planet Mars if Mars was purple.
Yeah, it's like a blush, bronzer, highlighter, all in one, which is
I'm
pretty
into
cool.
it. I'm fucking into it. So I could go on and on about Rebel Rouge Labs, but you should check them out for yourself. On Instagram, it's at Rebel Rouge Labs. Check it out now.
Yes. So, what are we talking about today?
Well, I was going to let you tell them since you were so fucking excited about it. I just hit my mic. Did you hear it?
I didn't hear it.
I
I didn't hear it.
smacked the
Maybe
shit out
you
of my
should
pop
move
filter.
the fucking... You have it situated so awkwardly. No wonder you hit
No,
it. The damn thing is right up against your fucking tit.
I don't like... Look. One,
Do you
I don't
see how
like,
mine is? Mine
Okay.
goes away from me.
Look, I don't like leaning into the mic. I need it to be right here.
Right,
And
you
I
like
also like to
speaking
be
off to
one
the
with
side.
it. Yes. Sometimes I have problems with pointing my face in a different direction than the mic. And it's fine. I just like to be one with my material and my equipment.
So you like to talk, so you like to be away from it.
I like to have it touching me physically, but also speak away from it.
All right. Great. So,
Everybody's like, God, they're tearing each other apart.
really
It's getting
are.
to them. The success is tearing them up. The
God.
marginal
Oh,
success
God.
is just destroying them.
the marginal success.
No, it's fucking fine. We always bitter.
No, this is how we
bicker like
are just on an everyday basis, though. So,
It's true.
For the most part. Yes, so we have a very special episode. This is our...
Fuck all them other basic episodes that you've been listening to, girl.
What are those?
All of our other episodes.
What are
basic.
those? What are those? I don't... What episode? This is episode 1. One and only. No. It's kind of like our birthday week. So...
It's kind of like... No, it is.
Well...
This is like the birthday episode, except since it's the Haunted Heart, it's the Death Day episode.
The Death Day episode!
We've been excited about this forever. Not forever. For like 2 months. And then the other day in the Facebook group, somebody, and I don't think I remember who, sorry, but somebody posted on Kenny's, like, it was Kenny's birthday and everybody was wishing him happy birthday. And somebody posted like a happy death day, like, image. And I was like, oh, how interesting.
Very interesting.
So whoever that was, I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly who it was off the top of my head. You were definitely on some kind of fucking wavelength with us.
For real.
Because, girl.
Yes. So my birthday falls on August the 20th, which makes me a Leo. Katie's is 8 days later.
Yes. So a little over a week, but
That's
know.
what. Yeah,
fuck
it's
it.
like birthday
fudged
week.
it. It's
But
fine.
yeah, Katie's is the 28th, so very close, which makes me the Leo. She's the Virgo. Did you ever do your birth chart? Weren't we talking about that?
I think I did it a long time ago, but I forgot. I mean, I'm sure I've done a birth chart, but I forgot most of it.
Yeah.
Because
So
I'm that type of witch. You know what I mean? I mean, you know.
Yeah. I definitely recommend people to, or, you know, those people, you guys who are listening. Why am I struggling over that sentence? I don't know. You can find free birth charts online. Just Google search it.
Yes.
But the important thing is, like, what makes it different from any other, like, sort of reading is that you kind of have to know the exact time of your
Yes.
birth. So it factors in the time, it factors in your location, and it gives you just sort of like an expanded view of astrology and your signs, because a lot of people think, oh, well, I'm just a Leo, or I'm just an Aquarius or Virgo or whatever.
No, it
and
matters.
that's not the case.
Yeah.
There are many factors and many signs that go into your chart that sort of make you unique.
Now I'm suddenly wishing that we had fucking researched birth charts and talked about both of our birth charts on this fucking
Well, that's a
episode.
little self-serving.
I mean, it is, but no,
Let's
not
talk about
ours.
ourselves.
Let me just talk
Let
to
me
you.
just tell you
Look,
about myself.
Let me just tell you about myself for an hour and a half. No, I mean, like, I don't know.
I think they
Just
know
research
about us
more
by now.
Right. But
They've been listening to us talk about ourselves for however many hours.
you already know.
Yeah.
For 27 episodes. No, I think I just meant like talking about like the rising and like your rising sign.
I don't need to research that.
I mean, but like I just feel like we
So
should
listen,
have
all right,
listen. Put more time
So here's
towards
what
it.
happens. Here's what happens, right? So you have your sun sign.
Bust it out.
You have your sun sign. So for me, it's a Leo. Katie, it's a Virgo. And you also have what is called your rising sign.
Yes.
So your rising sign is sort of like the face that you present to the world. Mm-hmm. And then you also have your moon sign, which is sort of like your inner self. Mm-hmm. And those are just your first three. Like you can go into your planetary charts. You can get into
That's
like
what I meant talking about, like the different
right. But I mean,
planetary
it's
signs
very
and what all
like
that
you
means.
can go into like what sign your Neptune is, or your Venus, which talks about a lot of your relationships and love and all of that good stuff. But for me, like, I have a little bit of everything. So I'm a Leo sun, and then I am an Aries moon and a Scorpio rising.
Didn't we, when we did mine, wasn't it like my, like, I was a Virgo, but literally like fucking everything else except
Yeah,
for
you
like
have a
one
lot of
thing
Leo.
was Leo.
No, you have a lot of Leo in your chart. No, she has a lot of Leo in her chart, which makes her a little more Leo than I appear to be sometimes, I feel
think
like.
it depends on like what it is. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I think I can be very fucking Virgo when I'm dealing with my problems, in that I just like get so fucking mired up in details that I'm just like, well, that's it. And always wanting to like be helpful and like
Right.
take care of everybody else. Like that's very Virgo.
Right.
But pretty much fucking everything else about my personality is Leo.
Yeah.
As opposed to my mother, who weirdly is born 4 days before me, right in between Kenny and I, and she
Yeah.
is the fucking quintessential Virgo.
Yeah, and
You
that's
will
like
never meet another Virgo more Virgo than her.
the three of us sort of make up our own little like special Halloween coven, and so it's just really interesting that like I'm the
God,
20th.
we're nerds.
Her mother is the 24th.
Motherfucking, we're nerds.
Shut up. I don't give a shit. And Katie is the 28th. We're all 4 days apart from each other, so which is pretty cool. Like even without that, because it's like you know. Anyway,
No.
so
it's
pretty cool
cute.
stuff. Definitely, like
I'm trying to be chill about it, but it's cute.
it is cute. Just Google search birth charts, and you can, if you don't know the time of your birth, like you can do a rough estimate of around like 12 p.m. sometimes. That won't always give you an accurate reading, but if you can find out when you were born, or if you know, definitely go check it out because it's pretty insightful. So
Yeah, it's very cool. And if you just Google like free birth chart, you can find it.
Literally
one of my
what I
favorite
just said.
things is to do it on boys that I like. That's like literally the first. So like I meet the guy, I kind of like the guy. I clock his birthday, see what his astrological sign is, and then I just casually bring up about the second date or so, because I'm not going to waste a lot of my time. I don't have a lot of time to waste. Just ask for that hour and minute of his birth time on his birthday, and then that's it. Deal is sealed.
This is
And
true,
then I'm online,
because
I'm finding all that shit out.
I'm subject to this. Like I have to deal with this.
Yeah. They're always Pisces, though. Like, at this point, I already know what the fucking birth chart is, because I just can't resist. I literally cannot resist a Pisces.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I have a lot of Aquarians in my life, both my parents and my husband. Something about Aquarians, air signs. I think it's something to do with fire in the air together. So.
Oh, that could be something, though.
What?
Like the fire in the air thing being a thing, and then for me, it's like water and
Earth.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like water flows through Earth, and honey, a Pisces will flow right through me. I'm just saying. Anyway,
Yeah, so
Enough
that's our
about
little
that.
segment on birth
That's a
charts.
different
See, bitch, I
podcast.
told you we didn't need to like.
There you go. All right, I just got nervous. I just want to produce quality content, Kenny.
Well, they're listening to the wrong podcast then.
Quality content. We produce trash. It's fine.
Trash talent.
Yes.
So, Katie and I actually
Trash
sat
wrapped in
down
talent.
and watched a film. So this is my like movie recommendation for this episode.
Yes. You cannot do a Death Day episode without talking about
Happy
Happy
Death
Death
Day. Yes. So, this is a new film. It came out last year. It's an American slasher film directed by Christopher P. Landon. Starring Jessica Roth, who was pretty new to the scene. I believe this was her introductory.
her first big film.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was.
Sorry, girl, if you listen and we're wrong.
But the film was produced by Jason Blum through Blumhouse Productions.
Fuck you.
And it follows.
love Blumhouse.
Yes, we do. Amen. Amen. So it essentially follows a college student who is murdered on her birthday and begins reliving the day over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
And if it sounds familiar to you, that's because it's basically the plot of Groundhog Day.
Right.
But if you've ever, like, this movie is for everybody who's ever watched Groundhog Day and been like, this would be great with more murder in it. Which is me.
Right.
And Kenny.
I mean, essentially. So she sets out to find the killer and stop her death. So that's essentially the plot. The plot is she has to try to figure out how to stop her killer, figure out who it is, solve her own murder. And it was pretty fun. So it grossed about $122 million worldwide on a $4.8 million budget and received generally positive reviews. And again, a lot of people talked about it's sort of like a merger between Groundhog Day meets Scream a little bit.
Yes, because it does comment on itself, which
Right,
is one of
and
the
did
things
you
that I
know-
loved about the movie.
The killer's mask was actually created by Tony Gardner, who also created the Ghostface mask.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. And also, they're making a sequel, Happy Death Day 2.
Yes, I did know that.
And they're supposed to be going into more of the why she fell into a time
Oh,
loop.
that's cool.
The only thing that was really weird about the film is that her name is Tree,
Yes.
but it's supposed
like it's
to be
actually
short
true.
from like Teresa or something.
Is it?
I think that's what I read, but they
Okay.
shortened it to Tree, but there was a meaning behind that because you're supposed to see growth. Like,
No. Did you just say that fucking shit? That
no,
was not
I'm not.
real. Is
No,
that
I'm
true?
serious. I'm dead ass serious. They refer to as Tree in the film because of the way that she grows as a character.
I fucking hate that so much. Oh my god. I loved this movie. Just take that back. Just fucking rewind that fact.
Right.
That is so fucking dumb. I called her Tree because she's gonna grow like a
Well, she did though. I mean, you do see some great character development
of course,
in the film.
but
and it's really interesting because, like I said, when we were watching this, it's sort of like a really cool take on final girls. It's like the final girl who gets to keep trying.
yes,
It's the final girl who failed.
it's the final girl who cheats, man. Which I mean, come on.
Let's be real. No,
When we
let's
all
be real.
do
We can all talk about how much we are like all final girls and are all badasses, but let's be real. There's a high possibility that we would just go in,
Get
guns
straight
a-blazing,
fucked up.
and then just die instantly.
Yeah.
Some of us may need a few turns, and you know what? I'm fine with that.
Couple
but I
extra
thought
lives.
but I thought that it was an interesting take on that. So
Yeah.
something that we
I
really
liked
hadn't
it.
seen before.
Yeah, I liked that it commented on the genre. I like that it commented on slashers. You guys know that I love.
She loves the commentary.
I fucking do, girl. Like I love it. I love smart horror. I love smart horror pretending to be dumb horror. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like, I remember when the trailers first came out for that movie that I was so excited to watch it because it just looked so, like it gave me kind of like a Scream vibe. you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, this is going to be a really fun movie. And it turned out to be a really fun movie. I'm not hitting my mic. I'm just moving slightly. It's fine. No, but it was really, really, really fun. And it did get me, like, a couple times of, like, I thought that I kind of had it figured out, and then I didn't.
Yeah.
So
It went through several rewrites, actually. And it was supposed to... Because this film was supposed to come out in 2007.
Really?
Yeah, it was supposed to come out in 2007,
Oh.
and it was tabled. It was originally supposed to star... who's that girl that you don't like?
That girl?
That girl that you don't like. She was supposed to be in Jennifer's
I don't like
Body.
a lot of girls.
Jennifer's Body.
Toe Thumbs?
No, who?
Toe Thumb girl? Megan Fox?
Megan Fox, yeah.
With the toe thumbs.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen her thumbs?
No, I have not
girl.
paid attention
no,
to
right
her
now.
thumbs.
Google
No,
Megan Fox's
I've got a bunch of
thumbs.
shit on my screen. I'm not messing it up. I'm in a good space here.
How could you refuse
But I will
me?
pull it up on my phone.
Yes, Google Megan Fox thumbs and just take a gander. They ruined one of the Transformers movies because the thumbs became like the meme from that movie.
I don't.
Did you Google Megan Fox thumbs?
Yes.
Google, it should be on there.
I mean, I don't see anything. Oh.
Did her fucking people just expunge her thumbs from Google Images? Because it used to be
my.
all right? They look like fucking big toes. It's every picture.
Oh God, I feel so bad. No. We can't do that.
That's
we can't
the
do
price
that.
you pay for beauty.
We can't do that. Her
the-
thumbs are unique.
Girl.
And
I have toes that look like fucking Vienna sausages. Yes, the fuck I can do that to this
you do.
beautiful woman.
You do.
She's like fucking super gorgeous, and I'm over here middling with these Vienna sausage toes. I can do that. Yes, the fuck I can.
Yeah. Okay.
Hit me up, Megan
Okay.
Fox. Shit. Anyway, what were we talking about?
So we were just wrapping up with our movie recommendation for the episode.
No. No, it was very good, and I thought it was quite insightful. It's a fun little sit. I think it's on... Is it on any streaming services? We should have looked at that.
So
Just find it.
you can download it legally. You can watch it legally by ordering it through your TV
Prime Video or
provider.
Your television network provider. We on the Haunted Heart would just like to say you wouldn't steal a car. So why would you steal a film?
I wouldn't.
No, Blumhouse is fucking awesome. Support them and buy their shit legally. We're joking around, but I'm
you
not
can get
actually
it on,
joking around.
You can get it on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, you should definitely buy their shit because they're doing amazing things. Not just in the horror genre, but Blumhouse actually helped produce Black Klansman, which is a...
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, they are fucking powerhouse in that shit. They were also involved with Get Out. So Blumhouse is actually doing a lot to like bring African American film to the forefront, which is fucking amazing. So support them because the same people that are repping the Halloween movie and franchise now are also like they're the ones who did Happy Death Day. They're also the ones who are involved in Get Out and Black Klansman and like all these really phenomenal films. So they're doing really good things in the world in general.
Yes.
So support them, give them money.
Yeah. So, speaking of death and birthdays and death days, did you know that that's actually a thing?
I did.
The birthday effect.
I did because I emailed myself notes about people who die on their birthdays.
Did
to,
you
to our
really?
fucking joint email box, you bitch.
Yeah. I didn't see that. I don't pay attention to your notes. 'cause
Okay.
I don't. I really don't.
Okay. Good.
I don't.
It has
So
to be
yes,
sacred.
while she gathers up her notes, very unprofessional, like she
no,
should be ready,
bitch. I
like
have
me.
my notes.
She should be ready, like me.
Long fucking pause as he tries to get his
No,
shit
because I'm trying to.
together.
My shit's up, but I'm not trying to steal your shit.
No, that's a thing where, well, I don't know. I mean, if you researched it, but I just, I know that dying on one's birthday is actually more likely than you might think researchers studied more than 2 million people during a 40-year study and found that deaths from heart attacks, strokes, falls, and suicides all increased, and that people turning 60 and older were 14% more likely to die on their birthday. Mm-hmm. Now, that stat sounds really cool when you first read it. But if we really think about this, if we put our haunted heart thinking witch caps on, aren't people 60 and older just more likely to die in general? I don't want to be rude, but 14% more likely to die on their birthday, I would buy it, but probably a little bit more likely to die on any day than somebody who's 60 and younger, right?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't do statistics.
I mean, as you age, I feel like it's more likely that you're going to die than right? Because your health is getting, not necessarily
So what were
getting
they? They were
worse.
saying that, if you, 16 years or older.
No, not 16, 60.
60.
60.
Oh, I thought you said 16.
Yeah, the stat is that they studied 2 million... as I choke. No, they studied 2 million people during a 40-year study, and they found that deaths from heart attacks, strokes, falls, and suicides all increased over a 40-year period, and that people turning 60 and older were 14% more likely to die on their birthday. But, your fucking risk of heart attack, stroke, falls, and suicide, maybe not suicide, but all the rest of them, your risk of it would go up because you're just fucking aging.
Well, yeah, but sorry. So there's a couple different things that I have here. So studies show that things like alcohol consumption, psychological stress related to your birthday, increased suicide risk, terminally ill people trying to hold off till their birthday, an increased mortality salience, which is a fancy word for an increased awareness of one's own mortality, are all major factors in this birthday effect. So there are two conflicting thoughts that have been put forward that both rely on psychosomatic effects. So in some cases, you have the terminally ill people, as I just mentioned, who use that date as something to hold out for, or a death by date, if you will. The other thought is that the birthday is a reminder of a person's mortality, which causes an increased stress, which can actually accelerate death up to or after the person's birthday. And an interesting statistic here is that men showed an increased risk of death the week prior to their birthday, and for women, it was the week after their birthday.
That's interesting. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I have no clue.
The difference for the genders.
What would you say as a woman?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard because I don't really give a fuck about age. I never have. My own or the age of others. I don't really pay attention to it, so it just doesn't freak me out. It doesn't weird me out to get older.
It weirds the fuck out of me.
It just doesn't bother me. I mean, we're all just sacks of water bumbling around the earth anyway. I'm just not worried about it. Maybe that'll change as I get older, but it just doesn't. It's just never been a thing. So for me, I don't think there's any. I mean, I guess it could be that people are stressed about getting older because I know that's a big thing. And particularly with women, age, we're not fucking supposed to age ever. We're just supposed to be made out of fucking alabaster stone and just look perfect always, which is not going to be the fucking case over here. We're going to be in Wrinkle City, honey.
Titty's going to be on the ground.
These fucking wrinkled ass, fucking double D, heavy ass, 60 years of toting these bastards around. I'ma unroll them for y'all.
You're going to hit one age and then they're just going to just give up. They're like, we're done.
Maybe.
And just drop.
That's actually the only cosmetic surgery type thing that I would ever consider is a breast lift.
A breast lift?
Yeah, I actually have.
Well, that would probably be not even just cosmetic, but I imagine that would help you physically. I mean, as a very well endowed woman, if they're I mean, I can imagine that would physically put a lot of strain on your back and stuff like that. So.
Well, honey, I didn't say reduction.
I didn't say anything about a reduction. I said lift.
No, but lifting them, I don't think is gonna help too much. because it's still the same amount of weight, but it just
Yeah, but I feel like it
kind of
would
a cosmetic
pull.
thing.
Like gravity, I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got man boobies, but
No, I that's the only cosmetic surgery that I would get. But I mean, they still gonna be rankly.
she's still
they
gonna
gonna
have a
be in your
nail on
face.
though.
And they gonna be in your face, and
She's
you
still gonna have a
have
nail.
to just look
I
at them. It's
guarantee.
fine.
No, so for me, I don't know. It's something about getting older because it's like, or dying in general. It's not that I'm like afraid of death. Mm-hmm. I'm just afraid of, like, I guess my fear is more in not being present anymore. It's more of like, and I know it's a silly thing to be afraid of because like once you die, like,
If you just blink out of existence, then you don't
Right,
exist
it's
to
more
be
like-
upset about the fact that you don't exist.
right, right.
Yeah.
But I guess it's just that
that's not a
fear
lot
of
of
going
comfort.
up to it. That's like the fear. I guess it's more like you said, a fear of not existing, or being forgotten, or being, you know what I mean? Like I never was here ever, and I guess
Yeah.
that's an ego thing as well.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people on the earth. Like, who am I? People die every day, but in my personal world, like, I don't know, I just don't like the thought of not existing. But
Yeah, I guess I just have such a strong sense that I have such a strong sense in the permanence of life, and not necessarily life, but energy. And I have never felt like you just blink out of existence and that's it. Like you live an entire life and you have these highs and lows, and you have these like crazy meaningful moments of significance, and then you just blink out and it was just all some crazy dream and you don't exist anymore. Like I've never felt that way. I always have had a really strong sense that although our bodies are not permanent and our minds may not even be permanent in conscious thought, the energy that runs through our body is the same energy that runs through the earth and makes the seasons and makes the sunshine and, makes up the moon, and like all of reality around us is woven from this same energy that I think when we die, we join that sort of web that creates reality. And so for me, I've always had a strong sense of that, and so it doesn't. I'm not going to say I'm not afraid of death at all, because I think that's like not genuine. But it just doesn't. It's not some big scary unknown thing. For me, it's more. There's sort of a path, but you don't really know the specifics, and so there is some degree of hesitancy and fear associated with that, but.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't worry about it as much, I guess, because I trust in the permanence of energy and of our spirit, and what and of the collective spirit too.
yeah.
So
Well, I think that speaks to, like, I've discussed this before. Like, between the both of us, you have more of a connection to that than I do. I'm a little more connected to the present and here a little bit, and actual life and physical, like, being, moments, memories, things like that. Like, I really cherish those, which is why I have like 18,000 pictures on my phone, because I just can't stand to get rid of them. And I am a firm believer that in the future, things like Instagram and social media will be a help for people who suffer from things like Alzheimer's.
yeah,
I fully believe that. I've said that from day one. You can note it here on this day. I said that. And I think that would be an interesting topic to research later in the future, as like social media continues to grow. Like we talk about social media as this, some people give it this nasty bad rap, but that's what I see. Like when I look at it, I'm like, okay, I don't look at Instagram as just like a meaningless feed. I look at it as like pictures, memory.
like a journal.
Yeah, like a journal, like a visual journal. So,
Yeah. No, that's a really interesting idea. I think it's a good way to look at our social media.
Yeah. That's the way that I've always looked at it. That's why I've always been so centered around things like photography, pictures, and graphics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I barely remember any moment of my life at all.
yeah.
I struggle with being connected to the present life sometimes, actually, because I am so like into that. Like I can be hanging out and we're just like doing nothing, and I'm on like some fucking crazy ass like spiritual vibe, and we're just watching like the Glamzilla show or whatever.
Right. Well,
I'm never gonna remember what that show's called. Glam Masters.
Glam Masters.
Right? But I'm just like in some totally different fucking plane riding some beautiful spiritual wave with you.
Yes.
In my mind.
I've always
And I'm
said,
not even
though,
high on anything. Like I'm drug free, man. This is all natural crazy.
If I go before you, just have me cremated, and you can put my ashes into grow a pumpkin in my ashes.
Yes.
And light it. And when you light it on Halloween, I'm gonna be there.
Oh, I mean, you'd be there anyway.
But anyway,
I feel like it would get really crazy because then I would be like hosting the podcast with you, and I'd be
It's just a
fucking
glowing
responding to
jack-o'-lantern,
you,
like,
and there's just like total
flickering.
silence. Everyone's really worried about me. People start giving to the Patreon so that they can put me in a fucking home so that I will stop doing the
For real.
podcast.
The haunted heart is trying to stop.
Haunted Heart is trying to stop her. Seek help.
So
Seek it.
listen, in reality, going back to this whole idea, both thoughts are true. So studies show that those who live in the public sphere, so career-driven people, athletes, etc., fell more into the latter category, talking about those that become stressed around their birthday.
And I noticed that there are a lot of famous people who have died on their birthday.
Right.
Potentially
Exactly.
because of that.
Yeah. And whereas people in the private sphere, you know, mothers, fathers, family members, whatever, tend to be in the first category. So that like holding on to something special, that like death by date, because they're holding on to it, and that's what they're, you know, like a birth date or
That's what
whatever
they're
it
shooting
is.
for.
That's what they're shooting for.
That's the target.
Just like I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be shooting for that Halloween. I'm going to at least get through one, motherfucker. Death going to be grabbing me by my ankle, and I'm going to say, get the fuck back.
He's going to fucking die, like, on Halloween.
It's going to happen, I'm telling you.
At the Halloween party.
Just going to fall dead right there. So, but yes, famous people, Machine Gun Kelly, that gangster guy.
That gangster guy.
That gangster
you fucking
guy.
say Machine Gun Kelly like either fucking one of us knows anything about him.
Bitch, I know about Machine Gun Kelly. I know that his wife gave him his rap. Like, he wasn't even that bad.
Really?
His wife was like the badass. His wife was the true badass.
What her name was?
Her name was...
Her name was
It started
Gat
with
in the
a K.
Pocketbook Gertrude.
No, it started with a... I forget. It started with a K, though. It was like a Catherine or like a...
Oh my God! What if it was Caitlyn? What if
No,
it's
it wasn't
me?
Caitlyn.
God damn it!
It wasn't Caitlyn. It started with a K, though. She
Katie.
bought him his first...
Kissing Kate Barlow.
No. She bought him his first
It was a deep cut.
machine gun and gave
she
him his
really?
moniker.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. It's crime.
She was the badass.
And murder. But
And then when he went to prison, they all realized, like, oh, he's not that bad. They started calling him Pop Gun Kelly in prison.
That's terrible.
But I'm not, yeah, we need to do we need to do like a gangster episode.
That'd be
Mob
cool.
episode one day.
Here's the thing. I'm scared of the mob, and I just wasn't really into gangsters that much. Although, if you are kind of into that, I'm admittedly
Well, it's still
not.
crime, though. Like,
It
old
is.
school crime.
And some
Like, I don't
people are
think
into
Machine
it.
Gun Kelly is going to be coming for you, Katie.
I mean, okay, but you said mob, and mob is mob is
No, I'm
still
not talking
around.
about that, but I'm talking
Gangsters
about
different.
You know what
but
I'm talking about. Like
I
old
just
school.
haven't that type. I know it's still crime and murder and all that, but it's just not. I don't know. It just never really has drawn me very much. The whole like gang and mob crime. However, I will put a caveat in for that now because Last Podcast on the Left just did a fucking incredible 3-part series on Richard Kuklinski, who nobody's ever fucking heard of. I have never heard of him. Admittedly, I'm not into the whole mob thing, but that Polish motherfucker, holy shit, you should go listen to that.
Yeah.
But that's
Well,
just my plug.
on a lighter note, also William Shakespeare died on his birthday too.
Yes, that's the one that I actually knew.
Yeah.
I knew that one. Very cool. I mean, it's not cool that he died, but like, I mean, he had to.
Yeah.
It was the
He had
1600s, girl.
to.
It's not too soon.
He had to. It is not too soon. Not
It's
at all.
not too soon. Who else died on their birthday?
The artist Raphael died on his birthday.
Oh, like the
The
Italian artist?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He died on
cool.
his birthday.
He would have loved me. He painted my body type for years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ingrid Bergman died on her birthday, August 29th, actually.
Did she really?
In 1915, yeah.
Interesting. And
Yep.
the next day, I was born. No. I have a little bit of a morbid topic this week.
If we're talking about death, I mean, it goes hand in hand.
Well, you know, there's death, and then there's birth, and then there's the in between,
Ooh.
the in betwixt,
The in-betwixt.
the hinterland.
Wait, is that it? No, that's not. You said that, and I thought of Twix candy bar.
Left side or right side? No, the
I'll always be your right.
what I'm referring to is coffin births.
This has been,
yes.
I'm.
Ah, yes. If you are a member of our Facebook group, and if you're not, then you should, because that's where the party's at.
Uh-huh.
Search the Haunted Heart Podcast on Facebook. Request to join the closed group. We will approve you unless you're a serial killer or ghost.
I'll still
Ghosts
approve
are
you if
maybe
you're a
optional.
ghost. Yes.
So, in the Facebook group, our girl Danielle posted this really fascinating article on coffin births, and I had never really heard of it that much. And I got to reading about it, and it's really grotesque and awful. So, anybody who has any issues surrounding
Trigger warning.
babies, or anything like that,
Yeah.
or fetuses, you should probably not listen to this segment. It is not for you. We'll see you at the closeout for the Stay Spooky goodbye.
Stay spooky, sound off.
So, coffin births are something that have been happening for hundreds of years, as long as people have been dying. Coffin
And
births have
giving
been
birth.
happening. Yes. So the scientific name for it is postmortem fetal extrusion.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't sound much better when you put it in those terms. So basically, when a human dies, right, the body decomposes. We've all seen like pictures of. I almost said we've all seen pictures of body farms. I don't really think that that's something that we've all
Body
seen.
farms?
Do you know what that is?
I know what that is. That's where people like who donate their body to science,
Yes.
and then they study how bodies decompose.
Yes.
so they're
there's
just laid
like
out.
bodies
outside.
laid out. Yeah, decomposing.
Terrifying.
To study. I don't think we've all seen that. I think we've maybe been
I've seen
researching
it.
for too long.
I've seen pictures.
I know, but like you're here with me doing this show, so I think that we're a little
It's
different.
just a given.
Yeah. So, as a human body decomposes, gases build up in the human body as part of the decomposing process. And sometimes those gases will build up and build up. And that's when you see like the distended bellies and all that. Eventually, all those gases are forced out through various orifices that we have. And then we're all deflated, and then we decompose and get eaten and whatever. So,
And our energies absorb into the earth.
the energy's left long before that. That's why corpses are so creepy. is because there's not that spirit, that energy is
they're
not there.
dead. That's what makes them creepy.
That oof.
There's no life.
That oomph is not there. That oof.
That X factor.
Yeah. So, the X factor? Oh my God. Not with you. Woo.
I don't know what it is. She just doesn't have it. She does not have it.
Oh my God.
Life.
Okay. So, this is the natural process, the natural way of things as we decompose. The situation with a coffin birth is created when a pregnant woman dies. As the gases build up in the body, there eventually creates so much pressure that the fetus is expelled from the body. A lot of times, I was reading that a lot of times just in women, like women who are not pregnant, who die, the gases that build up inside their body can be so pressurized that when they're finally expelled, it turns the uterus inside out.
Ooh.
And it creates, sometimes it actually like pushes the uterus out of the body in what's called a prolapse. That actually can fucking happen while you're alive, and it's fucking horrifying.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
So, just a PSA from the Haunted Heart, if anything is ever coming out of you that looks like it should be inside you, immediately go to the doctor.
Xenomorph.
Don't fuck around with it. Don't try to push it back in. Go to the fucking doctor. Mm-hmm. That's just me trying to make the world a better place. Anyway, so similarly in a pregnant woman, the gases build up, the uterus is like turned inside out, sometimes expelled from the body, and the fetus that the pregnant woman was carrying is then expelled from the body. And so back in the olden days, like people get really creeped out because they're thinking, okay, this dead woman just gave birth, right?
Yeah.
She's some type of crazy supernatural entity. And then they also would think that potentially the woman was buried alive.
Oh,
and they gave like a live birth. And then died after that she was buried alive, because that was a big concern back in the day. But they think now that science thinks now that it was just a result of the gases that build up in the body naturally. Because a lot of times this will happen with women who it wasn't known that they were pregnant. And so then it, becomes this whole thing. So cases have been recorded since the 16th century. So clearly it was happening before that, because I'm sure that there were pregnant women who died prior to the 16th century. Probably a lot of them, because living was hard back then.
It was hard.
So there are some cases where the remains of the fetus have been found separate from the body of the mother, but the expulsion was not through the birth canal. So it doesn't technically count as a coffin birth, but I thought that we would look at a couple of those cases just to be morbid.
Sure, why not? Let's look at it.
So in April 2003, the body of Lacey Peterson washed up on shore near San Francisco Bay. She had been pregnant when she disappeared 4 months earlier, and the fetus that she was carrying was discovered on a separate beach entirely.
Ooh.
So when questioned by the media, medical authorities initially speculated that a coffin birth could have occurred. However, at autopsy, her cervix was to be found like in normal condition. Like it didn't look like a normal coffin birth where there was a lot of pressure that built up and things got pushed out. Yeah. Medical examiners later concluded that while her body was in the bay, the skin over her abdominal cavity actually ruptured due to that pressure that built up. Mm-hmm. And seawater entered the cavity and washed out most of her internal organs along with the fetus.
Mm.
Yeah. In 2007, a 23-year-old woman in India, over 8 months pregnant, unfortunately hanged herself after her contractions had already begun. So a viable infant was actually delivered from her body as she was hanging.
Oh.
The healthy infant was found on the floor, still tethered to the body of its mother by its umbilical cord.
That is so horrible and nightmarish.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just awful.
That is
That
like I
case
couldn't
was
even like
just-
I've seen a lot of shit, right? Like
yeah.
horror movies, but like that has
Mm-hmm.
like slapped me in the face right now.
Yeah. But I mean, the good news of that case is that the baby was healthy and
Yeah.
the baby lived.
Yeah.
So the basically what they said was that the primary cause of the delivery was that it was basically like a normal delivery because her contractions had already started. And so then the delivery came soon after that, which is good because that, you know, if it hadn't been like a smooth delivery, then it may have been a sadder story
Yeah.
for the baby. Than it already is. It's a pretty sad story anyway. So this obviously was ruled out as a coffin birth because it wasn't related to the normal process of decomposition. It was more like a normal birth. Although completely different from a normal birth. So the third case and the last case that we'll look at is in 2008 in Germany. A 23-year-old woman in her third trimester was involved in a motor vehicle accident and she passed away. The non-viable fetus was found between her feet. The vehicle apparently caught fire following the initial impact, and the woman was unable to escape due to her internal injuries, and she, passed away. So investigators came to the conclusion that the extreme heat of the fire actually burned away epidermal and subcutaneous tissue around the abdominal cavity, after which point the anterior aspect, meaning like the back of the uterus, ruptured, which caused the fetus to spill out of the uterine cavity and land on the floor between her feet. The umbilical cord was still intact and connected to the fetus, connected the fetus to the placenta through the ruptured wall of the uterus. Unfortunately, even though the fetus didn't survive, it was relatively undamaged from the fire, which is kind of interesting because the whole cart was on fire. But the
Right,
fetus was
right,
undamaged, they said. So because the primary cause of the separation from the mother's body was traumatic rupture of the abdominal cavity induced by the fire, this wasn't classified as a normal coffin birth because it didn't involve passage of the fetus through the birth canal. So that's really the key for coffin birth is it's going through the birth canal.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not the abdomen rupturing and the baby or
It's
the fetus
like,
coming
yeah.
out that way. It's the birth canal.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, this is it's been going on for this is a process that has happened for ages, right? So
Yeah, I
I
mean,
know
as
there
long
was
as there have been
one-
women that are dying, you
well,
have this
yeah, but I
issue.
mean, as far as it's been since I guess people have discovered it or whatever, I don't know, it's just so morbid.
It is. And it was one of those things where a couple people, so Danielle posted the article and then we all talked about it and a couple people wanted us to cover it. And I looked at it for a while and stared at it for a really long time because that happened a couple weeks ago. And I was like, how am I going to fucking talk about this? It's so morbid and dark and awful. But then, that's also what we talk about.
Yeah, it is.
So,
Yeah, there was one case
and
though,
it's fascinating.
because I remember reading when that subject was first brought up. There was bones discovered of a woman who was between the ages of 25 to 35, I believe, but they discovered the bones of a fetus in between her legs. So the legs would have still been inside her, but the head and the torso were out. So that's how the bones were discovered. But the lady had a mysterious hole in her head. So it was a big mystery of what happened to her. And they think what happened to her was that she went through a medical procedure, an old this old procedure. I think they call it trepanation. So it's essentially where they crudely drill a hole
Yeah.
in your skull to cure, like if you've got a fever.
Yeah, just fucking make some more room. It's fine.
You know,
if
you
her
got a
head
fever.
hurts, let's just make more room for her brain.
You got some pressure, you got a headache, drill a hole in it,
Fuck
right?
that. Oh, they used to do terrible, terrible, terrible things to women.
Oh, God, yeah. And
One day we'll do an episode on that, and I will just get sad drunk, and we'll talk about it.
yeah, so I guess they thought that she was suffering from, like, complications in pregnancy, so they thought that let's just drill a hole in her head. And so, that didn't work out too well. And so archaeologists discovered those bones and that she had given birth after the fact. So, yeah.
That sounds
good
like
old European Middle Ages for you.
Yeah, that sounds like it would qualify as a coffin birth because the birth canal was involved in such.
If I was an at-risk pregnant woman in like the Middle Ages, I'd just be like, nah, bruh, I'm good.
I feel fucking fabulous right
you
now.
go in and
Can
you've
I
got
just
like
tell you?
you sneeze and then like a doctor looks at you.
Nope, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, to be honest, like, yeah, it was like that for pregnant women, but just women in general, like the fucking weird shit that they, we haven't talked about this. We haven't done a pod light on this podcast. So I don't want to talk about it too terribly much, but the We're All Mad Here podcast, they did a really cool series on like weird diseases that women used to be diagnosed with and like the fucking weird treatments that they would give these fake diseases, which is like, I think being too excitable is one of them. Liking sex too much is also another one. And I was like,
yeah, you can't be a woman and like sex too much. What's wrong with you?
well, they would, you know what the cure was though? No, what? Yeah, that's
Probably to get fucked.
the cure. Yeah, the cure was like sperm, like literally just like consuming sperm or having it on your body somewhere. And I was like, I don't really think that that's gonna cure somebody who really likes sex. Like that just sounds like giving them what they want.
Oh, to be a doctor back then.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of like that. It's like one of my
That
favorite
sounds- that
memes
sounds
where it's like
when you make up the treatment for like your own illness, like you
Right.
fake sick and you make up your own treatment.
it's
That
like one
would
of my
be
favorite
me.
memes where it's like it would be so cool to be an old timey doctor. Someone comes in with a headache and it's like you got ghosts in your system. You should do cocaine about it.
Kitty. I know that meme is so good. No, we could have been ghosts. This would have been a medical
Ghosts
podcast
or
back in the day.
doctors?
Doctors. Well, ghost doctors.
Maybe that's a subject for another episode.
Ghost doctors.
Old timey
Old-timey
medical
weird
practices.
cures. Well, laudanum was basically like fucking weed and like cocaine and like also meth. I don't know. I don't think so. No, I think that was a little heavy, but it was like paint thinner and like weed. And because I saw I went to Texarkana once to have said that I was there, and I had a Coors while I was there. It was very nice. Smokey and the Bandit, if anyone knows that film. Probably not. I think our audience is a little young for that. However, I saw this really cool, I toured this museum, and there was this really cool like doctor's kit from the 1800s, and they had all these vials in there, and I can't remember the name of the medicine. It wasn't laudanum, but it was some vial or something, and I like took pictures of this kit, and I was looking it up later, and that medicine was basically like some crazy hallucinatory drugs
Oh, I'm sure.
like soaked in alcohol, and it was like for headaches. And I was like, bitch, you're not even gonna know that you have a fucking head at all after you take that shit. I bet it worked too, but probably also killed you at 27.
Probably also killed you. Yeah, exactly.
Your head can't hurt if you dead.
You know what though?
What?
That's kind of true.
I mean, the logic is sound, but I just think like, in practice, that's just you're not gonna have a whole lot of patience to work on
Right.
after.
So that's our episode.
So bye.
We try to bring this back. To reel this shit show back in.
That was incredible. I also
Now that Katie has given half of the information that we'll have for our old-timey
I know,
doctor
right?
episode.
It's just gonna be old-timey doctor episode will just like be a rewind of this one. We'll just replay it. It's fine.
Yeah.
No,
We're
we're gonna start ending the show like that. We're just gonna be like bye.
Bye.
Click off.
Bye. No,
we have some invocations to do
We
for our
do.
Patreon. So we, as part of our Patreon benefits, we like to recite, invoke, give power to the names of our patrons. I still haven't fucking figured it out.
Patrons.
The names of our patrons on patreon.com. Every so often, we just like to do this as a thank you and to send you guys goodwill because you support us and you're amazing. As long as you contribute $1 or more, we will read your name on the show. We light a single candle for you as sort of your welcome to the family. And we have 2 new Patreons this week. Patrons. God damn it. Patrons this week who we are lighting candles for. So we'll save those for last.
Yeah.
So do you just want to do one by one? Sorry, we're new here and we're absolute garbage. So just
Yeah.
we're figuring it out.
All right. Yeah. So, Katie L.
Amy S.
Danielle Z. Hey, girl.
Christy W.
Alicia C. Also, hey, girl.
Hey girl to everybody. Are you just gonna hey girl everybody? Minor K.
And
Now we're in our newbie.
Carrie.
And Donna
Yay!
from the APC podcast, for whom we are lighting a candle.
All right.
And we are sending all the good vibes.
And also for Amy S.
Yay! Thank you guys so much for giving to the Patreon. You guys are awesome. If you like what we do and you think that you want to support us, every dime that goes to the Patreon gets put back into the show, into creating more content for you guys. There's a lot that we want to do and a lot of growth that we see in the works. So if you're able to help and we bring a smile to your face at any point during your week, feel free to leave a little comment on a dress for your girl
Yes.
and your boy.
We have a lot of really cool stuff coming up in the works that we're working
We do.
on. I'm so excited for it. Like, we are getting into September and October. Like,
Y'all
that's
know
part
Haunted
of,
Heart gonna do it up for October.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you
Y'all
what. So
already know.
that's another thing. Like, we always take, like, every year, the start of our birthdays is sort of like
the start of the Halloween
start
season.
of the season. So like it
I mean,
starts
it never
with
ends, but it starts.
I mean, yeah, but like, but it's sort of like, it's like the moment, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like the official, like, cause it's like, I open it and you close it, like the, you know, the, whatever you want to call it, the invocation that brings forth
The portal
fall.
to Halloween.
The portal to Halloween, or the energy that brings forth fall. Like, it starts with me, closes with you, and then we begin the season.
Yeah.
So it's a very special time for us. So we've got a lot of really cool things planned coming up in September that I cannot wait to
talk
share
about
with you guys.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
it's the hardest
so
part is not
excited.
telling you guys about
It really is. Like, I'm.
But no, just get ready. It's gonna be super fucking cool. Hang on to your tits. Get ready.
Yes.
In order to stay abreast on all of these news, do you like what I did there?
I like what you did.
I was
there.
so excited about that I fucked up the rest of the sentence. In order to stay on top of all the Haunted Heart news, you know what you got to do? You got to get on that social media. You got to start making your Alzheimer's journal, as Kenny said. And follow us at the Haunted Heart Podcast on Instagram, at the Haunted Heart on Twitter. And on Facebook, you can search for us, the Haunted Heart Podcast. We are a closed group. You can request to join. We will approve you, like we said before.
Yep.
Unless you're a serial killer, ghosts are on a case-by-case basis.
Just depends on which one you're on.
Depends on if you're a ghost of a serial killer.
True. Very
Can't
true.
have that loophole.
Very true.
So, join us there. The Facebook group is very cool. Everyone there is awesome, and it's a really fabulous community that we are just excited to be a part of, frankly.
Yes. Send us your emails. Definitely shoot us something over
Oh,
at the
yeah.
Haunted
Fucking
Heart.
email us.
Email us.
Hit
Slide
up
in
my
them DMs.
Gmail, girl. The Haunted
like,
Heart Podcast at gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Mail us a letter if you want.
We don't have
I don't have an
PO
address
box.
to
We
give
can't do that, Katie.
It's fine. We'll have one eventually. We'll have one when we have an assistant. It's good.
Assistant? Oh, okay. Still not
it just
there.
echoes into the darkness.
Still.
Into the
Hello,
darkness of the
darkness,
Davidson
my old
house.
friend.
We didn't forget about the book club. I just want you to know we're working on our book. There's going to be more news on that on the Facebook group. If you haven't heard about the Haunted Heart Book Club, we are reading House of Leaves, and you should read it with us. Join our Facebook group to get more details.
Yep.
All right.
All right. And that's it for our episode. Thank you for joining us this day, this evening, on your morning drive, wherever,
Thank you
whenever.
for celebrating our birthdays and our death
Yes.
days with us. Thank you.
So, all right.
We love you.
Until next time,
Stay
stay spooky.